When it comes to window insulation, have you been really curious like us and wondered which one actually works the best? Well, we actually tested them in our house side by side.
We took temperature readings on the windows we have in our living room, and we have like 6 of them in the living room. So we tested each window with a different method of how to keep your living room warm.
To start off, the materials that we used were one, we had just a bare window. Then we had one with cardboard on it. Then we had another one that has the store-bought film insulation stuff that we use in our house normally. And then we had one with bubble wrap. And finally, we had one with a blanket. And then we did this testing with a thermometer. To set it up, we first we had the control, which is that bare window. And then we had the cardboard. And for the cardboard, all I did was I cut out a big piece of cardboard, I measured it, and I cut it out, and I just made it the size so I could just slide it in, and it just held itself in. And then she put in the window film. So how did you do that?
Yeah, I just bought one of those kits, and we have a video on that if you want to watch to see how to do it. But it's just one of the kits you get from Lowe's or Home Depot. You take out the plastic, you clean around your window, you put the strip of tape that comes with it. You measure your plastic, you put it right on the window, fit it as tight as you can, cut around it, and then the plastics that's left is usually really loose, so you get a hair dryer and you run it across the top of it, and it's like shrink wrap, and it will shrink it so it makes it really tight and seals to the window. And you can actually see through it pretty good. It just looks like you can't even notice.
Yep, works pretty good. And then we did bubble wrap, which all I did was, well, originally I was told that you take water and you spray on the window. However, our windows have these little squares.
Square panes.
They're square panes, so it just fell off. So what I had to do was I had to lay it out on the floor, and then I taped it together so it would be the right size. Then I just pushed it up against the window and taped it. However, if you did yours, you could probably, and it had just a plain old window, you could probably just spray a little water on there and make it stick. And then the blanket was super simple. All we did with that, we had already had a curtain rod. So we just took the blanket and laid over the top of the curtain rod. And then we took some tape and put on the sides so no air would blow out the sides.
Yeah, it worked pretty well.
It did. So then how the test was run. Well, fortunately in our house, all of our windows are the same size. So we started off by measuring them. And then the one window, like I said, we kept as a control. It was just left bare. And then when we did all of our sampling, what we did is we used one of those thermometers that you point at an object. And according to the directions, we held it between 6 and 8 inches at about a 45 degree angle. So you would get more of an accurate reading off of the glass, especially. And then we let once we put everything up, we let them equalize in our house, so it all kind of get to the same temperature, and we let them sit in here for about 4 hours before we actually did any testing.
Yeah.
And we also didn't make any changes to our heat in the house or our lighting or anything like that. We also took the readings. We took four readings 1 hour apart. We were going to go further, but they seemed to be consistent, so we decided it was a good time.
4 hours was good.
It was good to stop. So I bet you're curious how it performed. Put down in the comments right now and your guess on which one do you think did the best. I'd be kind of curious. So just pause this and write down your comment, and then come back and tell you what.
We'll find out who won.
Which one was the warmest. And the way we did this, our readings, is for the results, is we took the highest, the warmest temperature as a result.
Yeah.
The warmest temperature for our control was 53 degrees Fahrenheit. And there's a difference between that and the control, which we'll have on later ones. It's not applicable because it's the control. And this is basically your baseline. The next one is the bubble wrap. And it read, the warmest temperature was 65 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a difference of 12 degrees from the warmest reading of the control.
Not bad.
And the nice thing about bubble wrap is that it's cheap, and it's fairly easy to install, and it'd probably be easier to install on a regular window than ours.
Yeah.
The next one is the window film, and it read 58 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a difference of 5 degrees Fahrenheit. The nice thing about that is that it does, like she mentioned earlier, it's nice and clean looking. You can see through it. We've had some on our windows for like 2 or 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
So it does last a long time.
Yeah.
But its warmest reading was 58 degrees. Then the cardboard, which this one kind of surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
The cardboard was the same as the bubble wrap, believe it or not, at 65 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a difference of 12 degrees Fahrenheit from the control. The nice thing about the cardboard, though, is once again, it's budget friendly.
Yeah.
Kind of like the bubble wrap. Those two are kind of twins when it comes to this. They're budget friendly. They're fairly easy to install. And then the final one was the blanket, which is something that we've recommended in other videos. In the warmest temperature of the blanket was 70 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a difference of 17 degrees, which makes it the winner.
Yeah, pretty warm.
And it's that is definitely the best emergency option. The nice thing about this too is not only is it the warmest, but it's also the easiest of all of them. I think that's the easiest. All you have to do is, get a blanket and throw over a curtain rod if you already have it. And if you don't have one, you can always tape it. But it's definitely easy. So this also brings up the thought, like I've mentioned in other videos. And also I mentioned a video. If you haven't seen the video on how to keep a one room warm, watch that one, because we talk about the blankets there. But they're super easy. So make sure you have a good stock of blankets for the winter, for yourself and for your window. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now it's time for Belinda's Trivia of the Day.
Did you know that 30% of total heat loss in a home can come from your windows, even when they're closed? So
isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm. So that's an example of where your heat goes.
Yep.
And that's why we did this window test.
That's why we did the window test.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, we have 13 windows.
Oh, yeah.
So we know. And our house is very old. And so you can actually feel the cold air, especially when it gets really cold in the winter.
Yeah.
It's amazing how windows, and now we have them all covered up from this test, They're
going to stay that way.
They're going to stay that way, except for the blanket. It's, you can't see through it, so it's kind of dark and stuff. But
we have window coverings for that one, so it'll be fine.
Everybody gets the window coverings.
Uh-huh.
Well, looking back down in the description, and we have links to various things that you need, some different supplies. We also have links to our consulting that we're doing, so you can sign up for that if you like. And make sure you watch our video on preparing your home for the winter, and I'll put a link up here.
Yep.
Hello, my name is Wayne.
I'm Belinda.
And we're Normal Prepping.
And thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
First, you need to wipe all around your windowsill with alcohol. This will help the tape that you're going to put on stay on for a really long time. So once you do that, let it dry. Then you grab your double-sided tape and you stick it on the corner where you want to do it, like right about here, all the way around your window. And once it's on, you peel off the backside so you have the sticky side up. After that, you get your plastic. It comes in a really big sheet. What you do, I just open it up, start on one end, start on the top, go to the edge, and go all the way down. Very carefully, making it stick all the way down like this. Make it stick. And you cut off the excess from your window once you get your piece on. The next step that you do, and your end result is this. Nice and tight.